Hey, who'd you talk to? What's going on? It is me, Mike Leopard King Mike L. This is legit paranormal news brought to you by legitpodcast.com. It is July 26th, 2023. I'm not going to try anything for the math geeks because just not going to do it. Joining me as always, though, is Cyn Shrader Hill, author. Correct?
Thank you.
Did we add anything this week? We're good?
Yeah, no, not this week. Yeah, good.
All right.
Good to have you back.
Oh yeah, it's good to be back. Good to be back. Dave's missing, but we'll go over that in a little bit.
Okay.
Not here. Okay. Joining us, the machine, Mandy. Mandy, how are you?
Hi, I'm good, and yes, it's glad to have you back.
Yeah, I'm glad to be back. I guess we're trading me off for Dave. I don't know what happened. I wasn't aware of the trade. I didn't sign any of the papers. Don't know about it. Well, filling in for David Barr, Sarah, Paranormal. What's up, Sarah?
What's up? I'm not glad to have you back because I spent all weekend with you.
Yeah. No, I'm not happy to have you here. How about that? I won't say that again before I get myself in trouble. Let's try it like this. So, Sarah, I didn't tell you how we do this, but you'll catch it as we do this, all right? So Just hold on 1 second. This is legit paranormal news. I am King Mike L.
Cyn Shrader Hill, author.
Machine Mandy.
Sarah Paranormal.
Thank you. And this is our top story. Cyn, would you like to go first, or how do you feel about you? Because I know Sarah has something topical, right? Current. Mine's definitely not current. Oh, actually, it is, but it's not that important. Well, it is. But do you want to go first or not?
I can if you want me to. It's not current.
Boy, we are very decisive people for a news team. Like, really decisive is what I would say. Decisive is determined. Mandy, you want to go first? But I'm going to save yours. No, we shouldn't. We don't want to leave it you. No offense.
I can go first.
No. I know what we're going to. No, I know what we're going to talk about with you. So, Sarah, start us off because I know what you're going to talk about is what everyone's been talking about. Go, please start.
Go. Okay.
Go. I'm sorry. That's how we work.
I just read the article. All right. Events today trended wildly on social media platforms, appeared all over news networks, and could even be considered one of the most important dates in world history. Congressional testimony heralded what is the beginning of the end of U.S. government secrecy surrounding UFOs, now known as UAPs, unidentified aerial phenomenon.
Hold on a second. Can I say something? Did anyone have someone else message them and say, "Hey, are you watching the hearings?"
Of course.
Just me? Anybody else get it? No.
I mean, you guys don't know UFO geeks? No one knows.
So I get hit with UFO hearings. Like, check the UFO hearings, and then they were having like the Biden hearings, and I'm thinking, how many hearings do you think they can have? Like, what is the space of hearings? Like, how many hearings happen in one day? And isn't it suspicious when hearings happen on the same day?
Yes.
Anyone?
Yeah.
Especially with the presidential one.
Yeah.
Like they hold the UFO guy on the same day that he was going to go in for the plea deal. I'm not calling it a conspiracy. I'm just saying that's really weird timing.
Trying to deviate attention, maybe.
And you think it did? Boy, did it ever. So, all right, let's go over this. Continue. Let's go over this hearing because I did watch some of it today because Rick made me. Go ahead.
Okay. Unidentified anomalous phenomena is what they are now called, actually, because anomalous means not standard, deviating from the normal or expected. One can assume the change was because some of these objects have been observed transiting through bodies of water and then back into the air. So yes, highly unusual and not considered aerial objects because nothing that we know of, invented or otherwise imagined, can do what these objects have been observed doing. This is not the first congressional hearing on UAP, which has garnered official interest from lawmakers in recent history, but is the first time a whistleblower, admittedly, is still in fear for his personal safety has stepped
All right.
forward in a public session to claim.
All right.
What?
Stop. I'm sorry to stop right there. So
You made me go first, and I don't even know how this works.
I'm just gonna keep interrupting you. This is how we'll go.
Okay.
So that guy said his life was threatened, and people that he knows were threatened or with physical harm. Right?
He
No.
said that someone he knows was actually silenced.
Yes. He actually said when they asked him if he knew about had anybody been murdered, he said he can't speak on that something. He didn't even answer that one. But all right, here's my issue with the whistleblower. Right, this is my biggest issue with whistleblowers in general. Is I can't stand a guy who'll say, oh, I was told that by this guy, that guy, and I know this guy, that guy, this guy. And I worked there, and when I was there, this happened, and I know that guy, this guy, that guy. It's like, yeah, go get those guys and put them over here, because I don't want to hear from him. Like, I'm realizing he's like the middleman. He's like one of those, not T-Mobile, but they're a T-Mobile seller, and you got to deal with these guys, and you just want to deal with T-Mobile before you know you're at a hut at a mall, and you're like, why did I stop? And it's, Mandy, am I losing you on this T-Mobile? Anyway, so you guys know what I'm saying, though. It's just like it's not the real deal. Whatever. I digress.
Okay. So this guy, David Grush, is the T-Mobile kiosk
Yes.
of the U.S. military.
Yes, and he's going, oh, you can get a great deal, but I can't really give you the same deal they give you at the regular store. You're like, dude, I'll go to the regular store if I want to find this out. Like, I want to know the real information. Why do I want to go? I'm just saying. Cyn, you understand what I'm saying about the whistleblowers?
I do. I want to hear firsthand.
Like, Mandy, how come they don't give up their leads? Like, why not?
Well, if they gave up their leads, then that would give us all even more suspicion on what's going on.
Yeah, but
Would they be silenced?
But Mike, you're all about you're Italian. What do you don't rat? He's supposed to give his buddies names?
There you go. That makes sense.
He's a whistleblower. The term whistleblower sounds like somebody who keeps secrets. Sounds like somebody who's blowing a whistle, meaning telling everybody what he knows.
I think he's leaving details out.
He has to.
Yeah.
Wait a minute, Mandy. What do you mean by that? You said it looking down as if you know something from the notebook that we don't about how he's leaving stuff out. So now what is he leaving out?
I just don't think he's telling everything. I think he's just giving just little bits and pieces.
So he's like E.T. leaving Reese's Pieces so that we can find our way to the real information?
Sure. I mean, if he told everything that he knew, and I mean, just imagine what would really happen.
But why are we telling half of it then?
It's not done.
It's like I don't know. I think what's going on here, I do believe it's a distraction from what's really going on. And this guy's over here getting everybody worked up over here on this, and we're all over here on his story instead of realizing what's really going on.
There you go. There's an answer. So it's pinochle. It's that pinochle game. We're doing this with the shells. All right, Sarah.
All right. David Grush served over a decade plus as a military intelligence officer for the U.S. Air Force, testified today to the Oversight National Security Subcommittee, along with 2 former military pilots who had firsthand experience with UAP. Mr. Grush was highly involved during his years of service regarding all things UAP, the unexplained, and served the Pentagon task force investigating the matters. He was personally informed of multi-decade UAP crash retrievals and subsequent reverse engineering programs. He was denied access to those specific programs and unsurprisingly accused the military of moving funds around habitually to avoid congressional oversight.
You know what I want to know about this guy?
What?
Like, did he owe money? Like, I don't know. It doesn't matter to who. Just, did he owe money? That will tell me a lot about things. It really will. Secondly, did he hate his company towards the end?
The government?
Yeah, was he demoted? Like, what was his job like? I want to like. No, I'm being serious. Before I believe this guy, I want to hear about. I don't want to hear about all the good things he did. I want someone to tell me about the odd things he did. Because, honest to God, I still can't figure out why this is. It's such a big monumental concept that's being brought in front of the public, and yet it feels like it's being treated by like fourth graders. And I'm just going, what are we even asking? Like, why are we asking half questions? Like, what? So the lady said, she goes, did you find any aliens or whatever it was? He's like, I can't speak to that. So here we go again. And it's like, did you find any other pilots? And he goes, there was a biological team that was on the scene.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm thinking, fancy words to confuse the people watching. Kind of like the UAPs, because now the A instead of flying is, what is it now?
Anomalous.
Yeah, that's much easier than flying. Won't confuse the masses.
Well, they go in the water now. So what are you going to call them? Unidentified aerial water?
Flying, swimming objects would be easier for me. I would remember it better than I would the anatomical Olympics, whatever that word was. Fancy word. Okay, Sarah, what else about this do I need to know? Let me ask you this. What do you think about it?
Well, this isn't the first. I don't know if you guys know who Bob Lazar is.
I definitely do.
Okay. So Bob Lazar said some similar stuff, but he was discredited for a lot of different reasons. I mean, they went in talking about, like, yes, there may have been biological things found, which we kind of already knew. Bob Lazar said that too.
So
and we all already knew everyone sees, the pilots see these things on a daily basis. That's not new.
are you saying Lazar or is it Lazard?
Lazar. It's Lazar. Bob Lazar. He was the Area 51 guy.
I know he is. The thing with him was he did sort of recreate what they were using to make it not use propulsion. Like, he was talking about that stuff to Art Bell. I mean, he goes way back. So yeah, that's true. It's we all know that they've been doing it, but like what I'm saying is, saying that now there's like different species, saying now there's like 12 different ships. I feel like they're getting us ready for like action figures. You know what I mean? Like they're gonna roll out all like the figures you can buy. Like, you know what I mean? This guy, that guy. Do they seem like they're making it too pop commercial? The whole thing.
It feels like it's more of like they know they're coming and they're slowly desensitizing us to the fact that this is going to happen. Like, so there's not mass panic when it does, which would make sense.
What if they were keeping them from coming this whole time because that way we're easy to deal with?
I don't think they can keep them from coming.
You don't?
No. I think if they want to come, they're going to come. They're way more advanced than we are.
What if they made a deal with us?
There might be a deal. That I can agree with. There might be a deal. Yeah.
Treaty.
Probably.
They give us up. Yeah. I'll buy that. I don't know. I mean, I love the government. Love it. Don't want to come to my house. I love it. Love it.
Well,
allegedly. What else would you like to say on that topic before we pass it to Cyn?
I think I'm good on that topic.
All right. Now you get to sit in and listen to their conversations and jump in when you want.
Awesome.
Cyn, go ahead.
Okay, so I'm going to tell you a few stories that nurses have told me.
Uh-oh.
You can find this in book number 4.
Oh, the paranormal. Good. Well, good then.
Yes.
Good.
Yes.
Good.
So one of my really good friends that I met while I was traveling as a physical therapy assistant was out in Washington State, Debbie Ham. And she was an RN. She was an LPN back in 77. So when I got to see her out in Othello, Washington, she was at a long-term care facility, which is mostly where she worked. She occasionally worked the night shift, mostly days, but this particular time she was working night shift in Othello. And there was a patient in the last room named Laura. Laura, as she was making her first rounds, Laura was talking in her room. It was after hours, lights were out, nobody was in the room with Laura. So
hold on, Cyn, the way you're telling the story, let me go grab a pillow and some s'mores. No.
Are
All
you
right.
ready?
I'm sorry. I was getting comfortable. I heard you say that. There was a thing. I went, oh, was there? And then I realized I'm doing a show. So sorry. Continue. But that was
Okay.
comfortable. I know we're all.
Okay, that's a good thing then.
We're
All
all
right.
thinking.
So she goes in and she goes, Laura, who are you talking to? And she said, well, I was talking to my mom and my who else was it? Hell, I don't even know. You got me messed up. My aunt, my mother and my aunt. And they asked if I was ready to go home.
Oh no.
I said, oh, okay, well, so she checked her out. She checked all of her vital signs. Everything was within normal limits, everything. There was nothing out of place. So she did a little kiss on the forehead and said, okay, get some sleep, and covered her up, tucked her in, and went out and came back 2 hours later for her next round. Laura was dead. She had a massive cardiac arrest, and evidently mother and aunt had come to get Laura. So that's the first one.
So hold on a second. Hold on. Something about right before someone is going to pass, if you've ever been around somebody, they will say something or they will know when it's closer than you know.
Absolutely.
So it's strange that obviously she saw who she saw, right? That would be the part that people would be like, oh, that's strange. But could it be said that it's one, the mind just going to the best memories? And then it can be said, well, it also could be the fact that the veil's opening up, she's going to pass on, and they're just coming through. I mean, I guess people would see it both ways, right, Cyn?
I tend to see it the latter.
I know you do. I'm just saying you would agree, though, people. That's how they would have to.
Yes.
Okay. 1 second. Sarah, the veil or...
I mean, from my own personal experience, which Cyn knows because I talked to her for her book, I'm going to say it's that the veil's thinner because they'll use the mind for any excuse, but I had a similar experience and there was no way my brain could have been recalling memories at the point because I was in an induced coma. So, when I saw my grandparents. So I think it's got to be that the veil's thinner and they're coming to welcome you or comfort you before it's your time to go.
Mandy?
I agree. It's definitely the veil is definitely becomes thinner. That person is starting to see more of their family members, and they're coming for them. They're waiting for them.
Yeah, the thing is, so if you're ever around someone too when they're passing, now you obviously your senses are like through the roof, but there's something also oddly calm about the first like 15 minutes. And like that's when my mom made the pen fall through my pants twice in a row. That was my favorite part of the whole thing because listen. So my mom used to make fun of any clothes my mother-in-law bought me. I don't get myself in trouble over here. My mom would be like, because my mom thought she bought the better stuff. She's my mom, so anybody else who bought me stuff, my mom would just make fun of. So she'd be like, she buys you bad stuff. So I was wearing sweatpants that my mother-in-law bought me when my mom passed. And I went to put a pen in my pocket, and it fell straight through to the ground through my pant leg because there was a hole in the pocket. And I'm laughing in my head thinking my mom did that to prove to me these pants are cheap. I get my wits back. I'm back to being sad, not knowing, go to put the pen back in my pocket, falls straight to the ground, right? Now, the pen hit the ground twice, and my brothers are looking at me like I'm a jerk. I start giggling. Like, my mom just passed. She's been passed like a couple minutes. I'm giggling because why? In that moment, I felt like, yeah, that's when she was like, you know what? I'm not going to tell you anything to scare you. I'm just going to make sure you know that those pants are cheap. Anyways, I'm sorry about that. Second story?
Second story is about Debbie's mom. Her dad had died several years before this, and her mom had never forgiven him. She was like, why did you leave me? I wanted to go with you, this kind of thing. So she wanted to die long before she did. This happened to be Thanksgiving in 2007, and she was not doing well, so they decided to have Thanksgiving at her house. And she comes in and sits down at the table and said, Orville, Debbie's dad, visited me last night. And everybody was like, wait, what? What? And she said, yeah. He said, Lois, pack your bags. You're coming home. She was
Lois and Orville.
she had to be put into the hospital, and she died 3 days later. Another friend of mine, Jackie Flint.
Wait, hold on. I'm still stuck on Orville and Lois.
Yeah.
So here's my question then. Can it also be said sometimes that a person can make themselves die? In other words,
yeah, you can grieve yourself completely.
Yeah, they just they give up.
Yeah.
And for some reason they just kind of go. Is that, you guys think that's the case? Is that true at all? Let's start with Mandy. Mandy, yes, no? Talk yourself into dying?
I don't know. I think in this case, when she felt probably it was her time to go, they came, they told her, pack your bags, you're coming home. And I think she felt comfortable, and, she went. She didn't put up a fight. It sounds like she just went. And they will do that too. They will come to you, especially when you're sleeping. Spirits will come to you a lot, and it's called a visitation.
Yes. I've never had. I don't allow those. I have strict hours for those. Sarah,
Mike,
what do you think? Yes.
You're asking the wrong question.
What's the right question?
Why would you want to? After years of marriage, as lovely as it may be, just have fun.
Yeah, but you know what? Yeah, but maybe at her age, fun's like a burger, and then she's got agita for a couple of days. It hurts. She watches cop. That's Italian heartburn.
Listen, let me explain.
Heartburn.
Cyn's looking at me.
I'm looking at both of you going, y'all stop it, because I know Debbie and her mom. No, just stop it.
Cyn, we don't know Debbie, though. We're making up images.
But I'm talking about
using Orville.
Back off.
Orville hasn't been around since the 1800s. Orville?
Back off.
All right. Go ahead. Continue.
Next. Jackie Flint is a friend of mine that I met at Valerie's store to tell me her story. She was working night shift, and a lot of this happens night shift. But she actually saw a nurse's white skirts, the legs, and the shoes, and that's it. Mm-hmm. And so she goes back to her supervisor and said, I just saw part of a nurse. And the supervisor goes, yeah. She's here. She stays here. She died a few years back. She got sick, but her husband, before she died, was here, and she took care of him. After she died, she stays taking care of him and maybe some of the others.
Wait a minute.
Yes.
Half a nurse?
Half a nurse.
Nurse light.
Half a nurse. She saw half a nurse.
If you ask Mark, my friend Mark, he would tell you that she is going away. Part of her is already gone. And there's still just a little bit of her essence left there that is eventually going to go all on also. It just hasn't left completely yet.
Or I was thinking that maybe she didn't have enough energy to manifest and show all herself.
Oh, she might not have, but she had been there for several years. So she might have been tired too, Mandy.
All
right. Like, okay.
Tired with the top half. I can't do,
yeah.
Do all this today.
If you're going to give the effort, you're going to give the effort to be seen, unless you've got the greatest legs.
Exactly. That might have been her great feature, was, the legs.
Yeah.
I don't.
Or she was screaming on something.
Yeah, I don't know. Legs of a nurse. Okay. You said it, so I'm going to go, okay.
Okay, going on to my next friend.
Okay, next friend.
This is Morgan Tudor, a really good friend of mine.
Morgan,
yes. Now, he was a nurse in hospice for years and years and years and years. And he was working in California when his mother got sick. So she was having a really bad time. It was, they had 10 kids in the family. So they were all gathered around. Morgan couldn't be there. But his brother told him, Fred, leaned in and told his mom, Dad's already on the other side. So if you see him, please tell him hi for me. And she mumbled something because she couldn't talk very plain. He moved in closer and she pointed to the chair and she goes, why don't you ask him yourself? He's right there.
Yeah, that would be. Yeah, that would be. That would be tough to handle. I think in the moment, like I think it would be if that was said to me. I'd be like, no, because yeah, that's yeah. All right. That I want to know this question. Has anyone ever been in a position where you had to tell someone it was okay to go? Pass on. Anyone? All right. It works. I hate to say that, but I've had it happen twice where until the whole family got around and all said the same thing, things accelerated to like I'll tell you what, it worked so well that after the second time we did it and it happened, it worked. I was like, I don't want to ever do that again because I feel like we have magic powers to help speed up death, and I don't like it. Like I don't like the fact that like that really did help. Like I can tell that that worked. Do you know what I mean? I like that it helped, obviously, but long term mental, it was just like, really, did I help do that? And it was like, I think they hear you, and I think it's just a bit of you must be fighting death. I would think the whole time, right? Your body just does that naturally, right? We breathe, and then I think to hear that the comfort level must drop, and then it's easier to go, right? Am I wrong?
A lot of times they're waiting. Mark's mother in particular was very, very sick and she was just hanging on. They had told him like 2 weeks before, she's going to die any second. 2 weeks later, she's still hanging on. And the nurse comes in and asks Mark, is there anybody else that she could be waiting on? And he said, yeah. He said, it's my brother and her nephew that are afraid to come talk to her and say bye to her. And the nurse said, why don't you get them on the phone? And so he called. The brother talked to his mom, and she was non-responsive. But still breathing and all that kind of stuff. But just she wouldn't wake up. She was just there. And the brother talked to her, and then Mark called the nephew who's disabled and mentally challenged. And he got on the phone and spoke to her. And very, very shortly after that last phone call, she breathed her last. So she was just on those two. The nurse told him, I wish all family members would do this for their people.
Yeah, it's good.
Yeah.
Well, my grandmother, same thing with her. She was in a nursing home and she was passing away she had diabetes and her kidneys were failing and she was in like a coma. And I remember being with her for like a weekend or so. And my father was incarcerated, so he couldn't come and see her at the time. And my poor grandmother was just holding on. She wasn't going, but she was just holding on. And finally, the judge allowed them to bring my father to be alone with my mother. And it was right after my father got to be with her. As soon as he left, they said she passed. So I really believe that they can still hear you, even though they're in a deep coma or whatever the situation is. They can hear you. They're listening.
It has to be on some other level, though, because I've been in a coma. You don't hear anything. But maybe there's a knowing on some level. But I know that when you think you're going to die or you're going to die, the first thing that passes through your mind is your kids. It's like automatic. It's like, oh my God, are they going to be okay? So it makes total sense that needing those children to come and say, I'm okay. You could go. Because your body might be in so much pain you want to give up, but you're like,
so when you were in a coma, you couldn't hear anything?
No.
That is, wow.
Here's a question. How do you know you didn't hear anything in a coma? You were in a coma.
That's true.
Like you could have been listening.
But I know that my family was there the entire time, that they were talking to me the entire time. and I don't remember any of it. The only experience I had was with my dead relatives while I was in the coma. And all the people that were in the room and talking me and telling me to hang on and all the stories they told about things that were going on, I don't remember any of it. So that's
interesting.
Yeah.
Maybe
Never did a coma. I don't even know where your brain would be as far as a coma. I don't like.
You're a goldfish in a bowl, like just swimming around, like your body's just staying alive. That's the only functions that your brain is doing, is keeping you alive. So, I mean, even your breathing function isn't on because, I had machines breathing for me and everything.
But how do you put the brain on pause?
In this case, mine was a drug induced. So there's different kinds, right, of coma.
No, I'm not teasing you. I'm literally saying the brain itself.
Yeah.
The idea that energy just never stops.
Right.
It's got to be doing something, right? So obviously yours was going out of the body. It's just.
Yeah.
Yours just said, "I'm going to leave. Nothing to do here. Let me go talk to other people." That's scary too. Like and that's something you got to, and that's something that's got to change the way you view everything else, right?
You would hope so. It is amazing. I'm not going to lie how quickly you forget. Like when I left the hospital and I saw the, sunset for the first, oh my God, that's the most beautiful sunset I've ever seen. And it is incredible how quickly you forget, like that you almost died,
Has anyone else ever died? I mean, not ever died. Almost died? Ever died. What the?
I was in a pretty bad car accident one time.
And you thought you were going to die during it?
I believe I was out for probably about, I think, 2-3 minutes. I got T-boned really bad. I had just left the gym and it was pouring down rain at the time. And I just remember I couldn't really see that good, but I thought I had a clear view to pull out. And when I pulled out, this guy was doing like 50 into, I think 35. And he hit me, T-boned me. And I remember just waking up to a sheet over me. A sheet was over me, and I'm riding in the ambulance after that. So it was crazy.
Cyn almost ever die? Really? Never. You're too safe. What do you live in a bubble?
You say really like it's a common thing.
I've been in several accidents and was rescued.
Yeah. Did you think? But was there ever an accident where you were like, I should have died in that one?
Oh yeah, two
yeah.
of them.
Yeah.
That somebody was there with me that I couldn't see.
So I got a question for you, Sarah. So since you went through that, did it like enhance your ability, or do you see the spirits now more?
Yeah, the answer to that is yes. Now, once I started to accept that, I pushed it out for a really long time, and tried to make it go away. But my brain and body were still healing from that whole experience. So I feel like I just wasn't ready for it until almost like now, which is like, over 10 years later. But it changes you. I would say almost my personality. Like I just change as a person completely.
Well, when someone goes through a traumatic experience, it opens up those doors.
Everything is a silver lining, right? It also makes you a more spiritual person, I think, for sure.
Well, you give less Fs.
You do.
No, that's what would happen in life. Like after you die, you give less of them. There's less to give, less in your pockets. You're just a happier person.
Right. Because like it could be over tomorrow. Like I wasn't expecting to die that day. So.
Yeah, no, I have been maybe 4 or 5 situations at least. But one of the funnier ones, not really funny, it's funny now, was we skidded across Canadian highway. Like we fishtailed. So the driver was going too fast and he's a bit of a dick. And we told him slow down. And he was one of those guys where, they say slow down, I'm going to go faster. I can handle it. Right? We're in a gigantic rental sled. That's what it is. Just, I don't know, Lincoln Continental sled, I think it was called. 2 guys in the back, seat belts. Me, front seat, no seat belt. So the car fishtails this way, and then it goes backwards across the oncoming traffic. Cars are just missing us, and I'm thinking the whole time I'm dead. Like I'm gonna get hit. Something's hit me, right? Nothing hit me yet. Yep. We rolled on the embankment. Now the car rolls. I'm holding on to that handle thing. I call it the boogie handle. I don't know what it ever actually is. That handle.
We
And
call
I'm
it
holding.
the shit handle.
It's
Oh,
the
yeah.
oh shit handle.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, it worked because I grabbed the seat in that handle and I never moved from that spot as I rolled. Right.
Wow.
I don't remember when it stopped. I didn't know what position we were in. I had no idea, up, down, whatever. Right. I know that I'm on the ground against the window, right, and it's smushed. And I'm like, I see the driver. He's an idiot, wedged in his seat, and he just falls on my face and just smashes my glasses and just cuts my nose. And then he's smothered me. He's a big dude, and he won't get up. And I'm like, just get off me. He's like, I can't stand up. And I'm calling him every horrible name I could call this kid to instigate him to stand up. I'm like, stand on my face. I don't care. Get out of the car. I want to get out too. So I've had a lot of those, but they slow down for me. Like, I don't know if you guys everything, I could see change going around the car like a washing machine. And I'm going, we're rolling. Like that's what I mean. Like I remember saying, wow, we're rolling. Like as if like that's a novel idea, but that's what we were doing. And it's like, so I think time in general may slow down during near-death experiences. I don't know. But that would lead me to my story, which is, and I knew this because I don't believe in time. I've told you guys this before. Have I told you guys this before? I don't believe in time. Like I have a hard time with that. The fact that people just go, this is the amount of time in a day, right? It never made sense to me. Like I don't believe them. So here we go. The Earth is spinning faster now. It's picking up speed. It says, since scientists began recording in the 1960s, the Earth's 28 fastest days on record all happened last year in 2020. Typically, the Earth completes one rotation every 86,400 seconds, and then they had to put AKA once every 24 hours. Scientifically, Cyn, this is called a mean solar day. Remember we talked about that before? Solar, so EST, all that stuff with you and what you call days. There were 28 days in 2020, however, that took the Earth less time to make a complete spin. The shortest day recorded so far was last July 9th. The Earth rotated a full 1.46 seconds slower.
On my birthday.
Faster. I'm sorry. On your birthday? Yes, just went crazy. Sped up. This is somewhat surprising considering the Earth was actually gradually spinning slower for the last few decades. Since the 1970s, scientists have been actually occasionally adding leap seconds in order to keep atomic time and solar time lined up properly. See? Right there. See what I just read? You know what I just said? What are they doing? They're adding leap seconds. What's that?
Well, they have extra time.
All right. Hold on. Anyone ever heard of a leap second?
No.
No, me neither, right? Not till this guy talked about it. So they're keeping time, and every now and then they add in seconds. That doesn't even make sense. But okay, let's continue because I've been upset about this for a while. There are many factors that can affect how fast the Earth rotates. These include everything from weather patterns and climate change to movements at the core. That's what bothered me the most. According to recent study done by scientists from Harvard and the University of Alberta, I feel bad for the University of Alberta in that one sentence.
How do you come after Harvard?
That's my point. Like, how do you follow up Harvard, right?
Just a redheaded stepsister at that point.
Has anyone ever heard of the U of A, meaning the University of Alberta? Okay. Have you heard of Harvard? Yes, you have. All right. Over the past 3,000 years. Sorry, I don't believe in carbon dating either. Can we just get over that real quick? So
You don't believe in carbon dating?
No, I don't believe any of that stuff. I don't believe they're so cagey with it that now they'll be like, oh, this elephant was like born 10,300 years ago, roughly, and it, this is what it ate and this is what it did, and it's like, how do you know? Like, I don't. But then again, I don't believe in DNA. So let's.
Oh, I was just gonna say that, but they can look at our genes and tell us all this stuff.
Yeah, I think they can manipulate all that stuff. I think all that stuff can be changed, faked, manipulated, thrown on scenes, thrown off scenes. I don't buy it. I don't buy any of it. Look, they add time when I don't know about it, right? What?
Wait. You know, I think more than half the time you say shit just to get our reaction. The other three, just to see what the fuck we're going to do.
Go out, Cyn. Go.
No.
I mean, really.
Why would you say that? Why would you say such a thing like that? I would never do that.
I know you a little bit,
but I really don't believe. in
you have argued this, yes.
Carbon dating. I don't like it. I just don't like how exact they are with it. It's ridiculous. Like
you don't have to like it. It's there.
So if that's possible, they should be able to fix so many diseases. Like,
don't you think they can?
Then they should. Not tell me how old the tree is. I don't care how old.
Well, they don't for everybody. Don't you ever wonder why really wealthy people are still alive and look so good? Like
I heard it was because they ate babies.
Oh,
that's what I heard.
I do have a story. I've heard. I have a friend who has been to parties
with 8 babies.
Blood drinking.
Oh God!
And summoning of things.
Oh God!
And what? Summoning?
Yeah.
No.
They can drink blood. The very wealthy, and they will summon.
They think they're gonna look younger. Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah. They summon demons to do their bidding, basically.
Mm.
They summon demons to do their bidding, and this isn't like obviously.
You just said the D word, Sarah.
I know.
What? What just happened?
And plus, rich people could just go to Home Depot and get people to take care of
Is she frozen?
She's frozen.
Wow, you froze on demons. Sarah, you froze on demons. Your screen froze right during demons. I got to tell you, we're all nervous.
I'm terrified.
Yeah. But, no, I don't believe in carbon dating. I don't believe in really in DNA. Did you guys know avocados are not vegetables? Did you?
Fruit.
Yeah, it's fruit. I didn't know that.
It's a pit.
It has a pit. A seed.
I didn't know. Did you know Scotland chose a unicorn as its national animal?
No.
Do you know that there's a good chance you'll swallow 10 spiders and 7 types of insects in your mouth while you sleep during your lifetime?
Oh, no.
There was an old lady who swallowed a fly. You heard about that?
Is it gonna be a joke?
No, it's a nursery rhyme, Mike.
No, because I was gonna do a dead baby joke, and I held back because you guys get offended.
I don't get offended. Cyn doesn't get offended. I don't know Mandy that well, but she doesn't look like she gets offended very easily.
It's very dumb. It's how do you make a dead baby float? You add root beer and ice cream. I know. Apprehensible. All right. Nope. Oh yeah, this is the one. In Switzerland, you cannot own just one guinea pig. Swear to God, that's a fact. You have to own at least 2. Yeah, you can't. They won't let you split guinea pigs. Mandy,
do they have to be boy and girl, or can they be 2 boys? Don't have a bunch of them.
They're pretty open in Switzerland about that kind.
Yeah, it's Switzerland, so right.
Okay.
I don't think they even look. I don't think there's any lifting of the tails. They just throw 2 in there.
Nice God.
Mandy, what did you have that you'd like to discuss?
Okay, so my topic's going to be, are flat earthers being serious? Flat earthers believe one of the most curious conspiracy theories on the internet. Here's a look at what they believe and why. Of all the conspiracy theories that litter the internet, the flat earth conspiracy is quite possible. The most curious, after all, the ancient Greeks figured out the planet's shape and even its 3rd century circumference in the 3rd century BC. Okay, but
like you're reading something I sent you that might be difficult to read.
It is. I have to scroll down what you sent me. So,
My bad.
But in a fringe society founded in the 1950s dedicated to insisting that the earth is flat has given rise to a modern ground of flat earth. These believers claim that the earth is a flat disk and that the evidence that it is round. Say pictures taken from space are elaborate hoax involving multiple governments. Opinions differ on exactly how flat Earth works, with believers elaborating versions of physics and creative interpretations of the solar system to make their own theories work.
Mandy, hold on a second. I gave you. I'll be honest here.
You did give me some.
I went through it. I saw all the words were like yay big, and I went, "Ooh, yeah." That's a good one. So I apologize, but that's something. If you're gonna ask me for a story, this is what you're gonna get. Now, flat earthers believe in like a snow globe world. Okay. In other words, if you picture a snow globe, it's flat on the bottom, and then it's got that fake dome above it. And if you shake it, not like the earth, but snow falls. You guys know how a snow globe works. My point is, it's the comparison. That's what they see it as. Now, I don't even understand why they want this to be true. Like that's I guess my biggest issue with people whenever they have an issue. It's like, well, why? Like why? In other words, not okay. Is it? But no. Why? Like why do you care? Why do they care, I guess? Does anybody have that answer at all? Like, why would you?
Because they're bored and they want to feel special by belonging to some sort of, group of weirdos who think with them, like them.
That's some honesty. I appreciate that. That was from the hip. I think that's the truth. I don't know.
There's more than 500 members of these people.
Well, there's more than that.
They've never been on an airplane?
No, but there's celebrities that believe it, and they don't believe in the planes. Their claim was, I actually saw them do an experiment on this, and it was like really expensive, which blew my mind because why waste that much money? But they set up lights and claimed that it didn't matter because there's no curve. You'll be able to see the light X amount of miles away. They couldn't see the light. It was just such a disappointment.
You can see the curvature of the Earth at 30,000 feet if you look out the window of an airplane.
Yeah, I know, but they're dismissing this. Mandy, what else is there?
It says 3,500 people. Today, the society claims more than 500 members on its roster, but some believers want nothing to do with the Flat Earth Society. According to a 2019 CNN article, with some attendees of the Flat Earth International Conference in Dallas that year telling the news agency that the organization is a government-sponsored front designed to make a flat earthers look bad. The Flat Earth Society responded to this, telling CNN, "We are not a government-controlled body. We are a flat
Not
earth
CNN.
That long predates most of the FEIC newcomers to the scene."
Wait, they're older than the FBI? The Flat Earthers. Is that what you just said, Mandy?
But it kind of sounds like that's what they're saying here.
Listen. When Flat Earthers don't want to join a Flat Earthers club, that's gotta be a rough club. That can't be a fun club at all. No T-shirts, no pins. They get nothing. These people for the Flat Earth, nothing. Why would listen? Imagine someone's going. Like it's like a clown. No offense to flat earthers, but it's like a clown going like that car clowns is making me look stupid. Well, you don't need their help. Like flat earthers should not be complaining about other flat earthers. Misrepresenting them. Because how do you misrepresent somebody who thinks the world's flat? Like. Does that make sense? What I'm trying to say, like it's like the dumb.
You're trying to make logic out of something that's completely illogical, but like ufologists do the same. Like some of these really crazy people that do the. Sorry to use the C word. No offense to crazy people, but like they will.
None taken.
The really big conspiracy nuts like don't believe in like MUFON or any of the other like big agencies. They don't want to join these groups because they've gone so deep into the conspiracy rabbit hole that any organization is in it of itself a conspiracy.
I just don't think people want to join other people's groups. It's like, I got my own group. I ain't joining that group. I think it's just that, right?
They feel important. Yeah.
Because Mandy, why would you, like, if you're a flat earther, why would you not join a flat earther group? It's almost like you're not gonna find many more. I mean, like, join it. But I guess
it's kind of like in the paranormal field, you're a paranormal investigator. When you want to join and collaborate with other people, learn different things. Yeah, unless they're a loner, they want to be alone. They don't want to collaborate with these other flat earthers. You know, they believe in their own thing. Maybe they're not liking what they're hearing from this other group.
So a flat earther rebel. I'm gonna write that down. What would a flat earther rebel believe that other flat earthers, and I'm enjoying saying that word because it's very hard.
It's a tongue twister.
What would they think that makes them rebels? Like the ones that you just said. Like what they think that it's flat, but at the end it does like an L.
Maybe there's a rough edge, a dent or something.
I think you're missing the more likely point, which is just that their mom won't let them out of the basement.
Oh. When did you sit in the honest chair? What happened here?
I'm always honest. I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, but you honestly brutally honest. Anybody believe the Earth is flat? Mandy, after reading that, and
I don't believe. No, I don't think so. But they do show this picture here that from space, and it does look like it's a flat disc. It really does look that way.
Well, you ever look at the top of a pool ball? It almost looks like a circle. Like if you look straight down on it, doesn't look like a ball because it looks like a circle. It's kind of like a globe, I would think, with these people at the flat Earth. Look, I learned that from the highest mountain, which is whatever, to the lowest trench, which is I don't remember the name, is like just not that tall. Like it's not that many miles up. And when you look at it from space, like we always think that you're going to see like all our mountain ranges and stuff like that, but we look smooth because that's how little of a difference of height. And I don't even know what the tallest mountain is, but it doesn't stick out from space. So everything always looks smooth. The only thing they get me with, right, the flat earthers, is the weather. The way clouds come over sometimes, the weather just happens, and it almost looks like what was the movie with Jim Carrey where you're stuck in a movie?
Oh. Truman Show.
Yeah. Every now and then the weather gives me a little Truman Show-ish, and I'm like, I don't know about this stuff. But then again, I don't believe in DNA. Mandy?
I've never heard no one say they don't believe in DNA, so I don't know what to say about that.
Well, let me ask, it goes to a lab, and then they come back and give you answers, right?
Wait. You have to clarify. Do you not believe DNA exists, or you just don't believe what the scientists are telling us about our DNA?
The second part.
Okay.
And I don't believe it. I don't believe when it's found. Plus, you did something I think that some of you have done. Can't believe you would do is find out what nationalities you may be. Put a swab in your mouth and send it to us so we can build your clone. Like, I would never send my DNA in the mail. People to look into it.
If they want to clone this, they'd have to be crazy, but go for it.
And plus, how long does DNA last? Like, what? I mean, you know what I mean? Like, it has no air time, like that it dies.
Freeze it. Well, I don't know. Is forever, DNA degradable biologically? I don't know.
I think it's forever. Mandy, you would know this. You've busted into some places and arrested several people.
What?
For DNA.
Making all that up. I'm just asking. What is the shelf? I'm actually, you know what? I'm about to ask you what the shelf life is for DNA. I don't know why. I don't know why you're going to be like, well, Mike, it's,
listen, I was one of the ones that was like, oh gosh, I don't want that person touching me. I was so afraid to be around the other people that I was dealing with in my when I worked in law enforcement. I am not going to lie. I was so afraid to be around it. I was terrified. I was scared of the blood. I didn't want the blood to touch me. It terrified me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can see. Were you terrified?
Yes.
We're gonna do a quick wrap up to get Reenie's show on for 9:05. So, Sarah, what would you like to plug, promote, discuss as we wrap up?
Florida Paranormal Investigators. We're starting to film our new project, Beyond Boundaries Paranormal, this weekend at the very haunted Miradorian in Brooksville, Florida. So if you want to subscribe, Florida Paranormal Investigators.org when that is ready to be aired.
Mandy, you're up.
Okay, if you're interested in booking a mediumship reading with me, you can find me on Facebook, Intuitive Medium Mandy. And if you want to watch some paranormal investigations, you can go check us out, us ladies, Ghost Sisters. We are on all social media. And also, if you want to see me on the Ghost Brothers, you can go check out that episode, season 2, Lights Out, episode 1, The Shank.
They didn't make a big deal out of the sisters meeting the brothers.
You should.
I would have.
Well, I was the only sister that got to meet them.
Oh, so
Yeah,
because because I would have said if they were all there, I would have done like a tug of war at the end. Just ratings. Anything else, Mandy?
That was cool. They're good guys. Funny.
All right, Cyn, what do you got?
All right. So if you want to hear more stories like the nurse ones I told you tonight, and even the ones I didn't get to tell you because Mike ran over me.
I know. I know.
Sorry about that, Katie. Anyway, it's in this 4th book. It's not goodbye signs from beyond.
Cyn, do you charge extra if, say, someone called like around 11:30 and asked you to read one of those stories?
No, you going to call me tonight?
Well, I
would charge
when you
you.
started telling
I
that
would
story, and I'm
charge
thinking maybe just you speak a call all of us, and we just nod out as a group. We do an experiment.
$5 a minute for you, Mike.
All right.
The girls, they can call me anytime, no charge.
See what I mean? No matter what happens, I get screwed. I'm sorry. So everyone's covered. We're good. I think we're good, right? So to wrap up. So for Sarah Paranormal, for the Machine Mandy, for Cyn Shrader Hill, author. It's me, Mike Larry King, Mike L. This was legit paranormal news brought to you by legitpodcast.com. In about 4 minutes, it will be into the legit darkness. Reenie's got me loading Tupac videos. I don't know what's going to happen. I'll be dead honest. But it should be worth it. It's true. Thank you, guys.